Good Monday morning. As you guys start your week this week, as I start my week this week, I think it's super important for us to remember when we're ahead of a thing, before a thing happens. So at the beginning of your week, you don't know what it looks like from the end of your week. So from the end of your week, you can look back and say, whoa, I accomplished this. I encouraged this person, that person. I literally thought I heard God saying something, and then somebody else is like, dude, guess what I thought I heard God saying? You're there. Same thing I heard. Oh, guess what? I must have heard God. You see all that at the end of the week. But at the beginning of the week, when you're going into it, you see a blank slate. Like you see, gosh, I'm little old me, and I have a huge old Monday through Friday to try and get something going, make something happen, and I don't know if I have it in me. Well, first off, you don't. God has it in him, and he pours it in you, and then you get a thing done. But here's the super cool thing. Think about the greats, all right? Think about the greats. For me, I'm like Jimmy Page. He didn't pick up a guitar until he was 13 years old. But do you think for one second that when he picked up that guitar and sat it in his lap and was like, I'm not even sure what to do with this, that he imagined that he would be where he is now, looking back on his life saying, I'm a rock and roll superstar? I don't think so. He couldn't imagine. Do you think that when Shakespeare picked up his pen, that he thought anything more than, I'm gonna doodle a couple of thises and that's, and I don't know, got this name Romeo going through my mind. I don't even know what that is. That's what he was thinking. He was just like, what? Do you think that when Johnny Cash was sitting on his back porch as a little kid, looking over a field of cotton that he had to go out and work on picking, do you think for one second that he thought that someday he was going to look back on his life and say, holy cow, I have done some great things? None of it happens outside of God. In Romans 12, it talks about these gifts that he gives us. So this week, this Monday morning, what I want to say to us all, me included, is he's given you gifts. Like, these are gifts from God for the world. Use them. Because you don't know right now, looking forward at your story, what it's going to be. In the Bible, in Hebrews 11, it talks about all of these amazing characters. By faith, they did this. By faith, Abraham did this. Do you think even when Abraham got to his last days that he had any idea what an impact he made on the world, on the universe, on God's kingdom? I don't think he did. We look back and we're like, dude, Abraham, what? Isaac, what? Jacob, what? Moses. Do you think that Moses had any idea how huge it was for him to stop and look at that burning bush? I don't think he did. But we look back and we say, look how awesome. Those guys were the ones who, looking at an empty slate, looking at I don't know what this is going to look like, by faith said, yes, I'll do it. So this week, on Monday, when everything's clean and clear in front of you and you're like, I do not have the capacity to do great things, God has the capacity to use you. He gave you gifts and he wants you to use them. And you don't know that someday you're going to look back on this week and you're going to realize it was this week when you chose to say yes and you chose to use your gifts and you chose to do these things that began an amazing journey of faith that resulted in the someday that you can't see. Amazing things that God already has planned. And even when we're not faithful, even when we're like, I can't do it, I'm not faithful. Do you know what the Bible says in 2 Timothy chapter 2? That even when we're not faithful, God is faithful. But I want to encourage you this week. I want to encourage me this week. Do the thing. Use your gifts. Speak the words. Be the person. Step out. Someday, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, people are going to be shaking their head and saying, look how amazing that person was. Look how amazing they were. You didn't know it when you took the first step. But at the end of the parade, everyone will be talking about the faith that was in you. So this week, do the little things which are going to result in super big, amazing things. Why? Nothing is impossible with God. I love you. Have a good week.